Hey guys, welcome to Finally Clicked, the podcast where we discuss business, leadership, and personal development. My name is Margaret Smith, and I'm the Director of Operations for Pickett Street Properties, a real estate team out of Bothell, Washington. And I'll be here every week with our owner and team leader, Jesse D. Moore. We'll be digging into concepts and ideas that have helped us both personally and professionally, and you'll also get a chance to hear from local and national experts that we know provide massive value to get to the point where it all finally clicks.
Oh, shoot. Welcome to another episode of Finally Clicked.
Yes, welcome. Oh my gosh, there's two of us.
This is an ASMR and mimosa episode because it's too damn early for whiskey.
Too early. What would be the right time?
I like my whiskey right before I go to bed. So,
I was going to say 11:30 a.m. Seems like an okay time.
well, it's not 11:30 a.m.
Oh, this is delicious.
We're having orange mimosas.
It's the best. A little bit of Hawaii.
A little bit of the island
Aloha.
in your ears.
So delicious. This is good. This is good experience for me right now.
It's a good experience for me too.
So we didn't really get a chance to talk about like what we wanted to discuss on this ASMR episode.
Oh, well, I don't know if you know how ASMR episodes work.
It's been a while.
But there's no agenda.
Okay.
Can we talk normal now?
Yes.
All right.
Wow.
We're going to ease into this vocally. Going to ramp up to my normal voice.
I didn't even test the mics, so hopefully.
Hopefully. I see the thing moving.
Okay, good.
All right. Margaret.
Welcome back.
Stranger. What's up? Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, gosh.
I came back from Europe and
Yeah, you're going to have to tell the listeners.
came in to greet my team, and they said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm exhausted." And they're like, "What?" And I go, "From listening to Margaret's podcast. There's so many. She's so prolific. It's been a full-time job catching up on Finally Clicked."
It wasn't what you expected, huh?
I like how I do one episode and I like pat myself on the back while you're gone. I'm like, yeah, I still got it. I can do it. I'm still rolling. I'm still pushing the ball forward.
You did.
And then Margaret launches like a whole new stream of vignettes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like rapid fire. Another new episode.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Mm-hmm.
You like to shake
We haven't
things
even
up.
released your response to the moments.
We probably shouldn't. I've thought about it.
Really? I haven't had a chance to listen.
Oh, I am so... You did such a great job, I have to say. Like,
thank
you did
you.
a great job. of
Talking to myself.
Talking into a mic and making sense, and your voice is so melodic, and
Oh, thank
you have
you.
a great radio voice.
Thank you.
And then I come in here... And
What did you talk about?
I don't. It seemed. It
was
felt like
just
a
for those of
feral.
you-
It felt like a feral cat trying
my
to get
God.
out of a locked cage. That's what it felt like.
Oh my God, what? It was going to be called Just a Jiffy with Jesse.
Jiffy with
Just
Jesse.
a Jiffy.
Yeah, but let's
A
not.
feral cat? Really?
Well, I wanted to say the word feral cat.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're very eloquent with your words. I'm sure it was like poetry.
You know what a feral
It's
cat
like a poetry
is?
slam. I imagine in my head I see Grease and just cats running
Right.
everywhere.
Those are feral cats.
Yeah.
Like undomesticated,
yeah.
wild cats. And it if you've ever tried to pet one or corner one.
I actually stay away from those cats.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I love cats, but I stay
Right.
away from those ones.
Well, they defy the laws of science, physics.
Really?
Oh, they can climb a whole wall like Spider-Man. And that's what I was like in here, trying to talk to myself.
Oh my gosh. I still think you should do it.
You're really living up to the Mopra term. Like,
Wow, that's a huge compliment.
yeah, you just put a mic in front of you and you're like, let me spew wisdom.
Wow,
my
that's
lovelies.
a huge compliment.
Let me drop some.
Well, it's only
nuggets.
because of spending so much time with you and with all the people that I have something to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Very politically apropos.
It's actually rather true.
I don't know.
We have so much to talk about. I
We do.
actually feel like you have to tell them though your favorite country, and because that just made me want to go there, and I don't think many people think of.
Well, so I just got back from Prague and Amsterdam. And I feel like Prague is a country that people don't plan on going to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I planned on ever going there. And so a friend of mine, Diane Griffin, was getting married in Prague. And I love to travel. I love to travel internationally. And then some of my favorite people were going to be there. So why not travel with some of your favorite people?
Yeah.
So I went, and I have to say Prague is a lovely city. I liked it a lot. It's very affordable compared to other European countries. And then we went to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam was less affordable for sure.
What was the most expensive thing?
Well, like a taxi ride, which would be like from our office to the airport.
Yeah.
So that'd be like half an hour.
Yeah.
That was 55 euro. So that's around $70.
Wow.
Like $70 to go to the airport. Like that's legit. That's a lot. So, but food and drink and hotel, all that stuff was pretty spendy there. So anyway, when I got back, I was talking about traveling, and then Margaret asked, I think it was Margaret. Was it you or someone else? Like said, if you're gonna go to Europe for the first time, and you're only gonna go to one place, where would you recommend?
I didn't ask it like that, but I asked like.
Oh, well then you can.
I think it was me. I'm always super curious about travel.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I share totally a passion for travel. So yeah, Prague is actually where one of my best friends wanted to go and do some teaching. And so I've always been interested ever since I saw some pictures from her. And then when you sent Snapchats and pictures of the streets and the buildings and the cafes you were at, and then you said it was less expensive than Amsterdam, I was like, okay, this needs to be on my list.
Yeah. So when you asked me, like, if I had to recommend to somebody who wanted to go to Europe and they first time,
Yeah.
they wanted to go somewhere that was beautiful, had a sense of history, and was affordable.
Yeah.
And so right away, I would rule out Italy and Greece.
Yeah.
Everyone should go there.
Yeah.
They're beautiful countries. They're unbelievable countries. I would go every year if I could, but they're expensive. So I've been to Namibia, Africa. That's not for everybody. I've been to Iceland. Iceland is very expensive. It's an island. So think about like Maui, how expensive things are in Maui.
Okay.
And
yeah.
that's true
That's
of
what
Iceland.
I've heard. Yeah.
Except for Iceland can't grow anything other than sheep and goats. So like they can't grow crops because it's lava fields basically. So Maui can grow its own crops, right? So at least you can get pineapple cheaply.
Yeah.
Not true in Iceland. Iceland, everything's expensive because they have to import it
Everything
on a
in.
boat.
Yeah.
So then
And your
I've
experience
also
in
been
Croatia
to
was amazing.
Croatia.
Yeah. That sounds really cool.
And that's my number one recommendation because Croatia, well, one of the reasons why I recommend Croatia is because, you know, when I was a kid growing up, Croatia was in the news a lot. And that was because there was a war. It was in a war. And so whenever I thought of Croatia, I just thought of like a war-torn country.
Oh, yeah.
I just think of like Serbia or, you know, like no one would want to go there, right? Well, it turns out it's like a beautiful, beautiful country, and it's also has coastal cities. And so I like going to a country in Europe that's on the coast. I think you get a totally different experience over there in coastal cities. And I like to go inland as well. So Prague is landlocked. No coastal cities. There's rivers that go through Europe, and there's a river that goes through Prague.
Did you hear any music
Yeah.
while you were there?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. I mean,
Like
it's
live
not
music?
Like, yeah, it's more like in Prague. It was like polka music,
Yeah.
like a lot of polka music.
Huh.
Anyway, so Croatia has. You can research these cities like Hvar, Hvar, and Vis, Vis. And Split. These are coastal cities that are just beautiful.
Okay.
And so tourist traffic is relatively new there in like the last decade. So
Really?
I don't think there hardly any there was any tourism like 20 years ago there. So so it's beautiful. I like the weather and the food, everything about Croatia. And it's very affordable.
Was it super hot there right now?
I mean, everywhere in Europe is hot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag climate change. It's they broke records in Europe in the past week. So yeah, if you are looking for a vacation to Europe, I would highly recommend Croatia for the fact that you can have your, coastal and beach type travel and at the same time go inland.
Yeah.
They film much of Game of Thrones in Croatia. So, like, if you have an idea, if you like Game of Thrones and you get a sense of what the cities look like, most of that is filmed in Croatia.
Oh, cool. All right.
So, yeah, Croatia's cool.
As you're talking, I'm thinking, I don't know that our partnership would work as well as it does, actually, if this was if you didn't like to travel or if I didn't like to travel, because with it comes an appreciation of perspective and growth.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking about that as you're talking, like, it's super important to me. And I know it is to you too. And I know how you feel when you travel and you come back and you're like re-energized.
Yeah. So if I was going to do a mini moment, I was going to do it on travel and perspective.
Well, that'd be cool.
For those that are maybe newer to the podcast, I grew up on a ranch in Montana, and our first family vacation was when I was like 16, 17, and we went from one side of Montana to the other on a train and back again. Yeah. We didn't leave the state of Montana.
Yeah.
And granted, you can travel like 12 hours and not leave the state of Montana. So, we didn't do a lot of family vacations. We didn't venture out very far. I didn't go to even Canada or Mexico until I was like 28. My first trip ever was to outside of the area was to Maui when I was around 28. And I couldn't believe it. I thought I was in a science fantasy novel.
That's what it feels like.
It was so different from any experience I'd had. And then I fell in love with travel. I'm like, what? There's places like this.
What took you to Maui at 28?
You know what? And this is what it would take. But we were blessed by my ex-wife worked at Boeing, and there was one of these old. Boeing has a reputation for being a kind of a good old boys club. Especially there's in the factory. There's a lot of older men that have worked there for 30 years. Yeah. And they kind of take these new young women, coworkers under their wing. And so my ex-wife was friends with a lot of her peers at work. And one of them had won the lottery 3 times and had purchased
Excuse me?
Well, not like a big win, but like 50,000, then 100,000.
I'm okay with that too. Yeah.
So he won like 3 times. And what he bought with his money was 6 weeks of timeshare.
Wow.
So in Maui.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks a year they go to Maui.
That's awesome.
And they stay there. And this is part of his retirement plan and everything else.
I like that.
But while he works, he doesn't get 6 weeks of vacation a year. He gets like 4. Yeah. So he has 2 extra weeks to use.
Oh, wow.
And so he gave us a week
That's cool.
and like paid everything. We didn't. So that's the only way you were going to get me or her to travel at the time because we didn't know.
Didn't want to spend money on it.
We just figured we couldn't afford it.
Totally.
Right. So we went to Maui, and it was such a huge blessing. And then I was like, this is awesome. I want to do this every year.
Yeah.
And then my first big trip was Italy, and I came home, and I needed something to look forward to and to work toward, and I came home and I told my ex-wife that I was going to book a trip to Italy, and she was not having that. And it took me 18 months to convince her to
18
go.
months for everything.
I know.
I remember when you went on that trip. It was a big deal.
And so then, we finally went to Italy. And that was amazing. And so here's my story about travel and why you should do it overall. Yes, I was a Montana ranch kid. I didn't know diversity at all. Just because I was in a snow globe of Caucasian people.
Literally. Yeah.
Like there was... And I had the attitude of people where I grew up is, why would you do that? Why would you fly across the ocean? Why would you go visit some foreign place? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you waste your money? You know? And so I know, like, my parents don't understand why I travel. I know they don't. And so we went to Greece a couple years ago. We went to Croatia and then Greece. And Greece, we went to Santorini, which is where everybody wants to go. And it was amazing. Little known, like, tourism didn't start there until about 1977. So it's only travel to Santorini has only been happening for about 40 years.
I love Santorini.
And then after Santorini, we went to Mykonos. And our favorite thing to do is to, like, go where the locals hang out, sit at a courtyard, drink a glass of wine, listen to the music, listen to people talking, locals talking, and just get a real sense of the local community. So we wanted to go to this area called Little Venice, which is like a downtown area that has bistros and bars. And this
is in Greece?
This is in Mykonos.
Mykonos, okay.
And
with your fiance Jill.
Yep. And so our taxi, we got in a taxi and they were going to take us there. And then he stopped and he goes, we have like a 10 more minute ride, or you can get out and just walk down the staircase. And it's like a mile, but you'll get there faster. And
that's nice.
Yeah. So we're like, okay. So we popped out and we walked down the staircase through this residential area of Mykonos. And residential is it's like any European city where it's a bunch of buildings. Like, you can't tell one apartment from the next. It all rolls together. It's just a rolling hill of apartments and front porches and doors. But there's no yards. There's no front yard. There's no backyard. There's no side yard. There's no grass. And Greece is lava fields as well. So it doesn't grow grass easily. Yeah. So even the schools don't have playgrounds. Like, not your typical playground. It's a playground, like, on concrete. There's no grass. There's no lawn. There's no parks. And I noticed this as we're traveling down the staircase and we're looking at apartments and we're hearing people talk through their windows and we're hearing kids play. And I see this. I have this moment where I see this little girl. She's probably 4. And she's playing with a cardboard box on her front porch. And I'm realizing this is the extent of her play area inside or outside of her house. Yeah. And the extent of her play things is a cardboard box. And she was delighted. She was having the best time of her life. But it just meant, it was in stark contrast to my life. Yeah. We got home from that trip and I felt like I lived in Downton Abbey. Yeah. Like, I felt like we had an estate, a castle, right? With grounds that you can play on and roll on, like we take for granted what we have. And I live in a nice neighborhood. I have a nice house. I don't take that for granted. But no matter what, whoever's listening to this, you have it better than like 90% of the world. Yeah. Yeah. Easily. And we get so caught up in what our expectations are and our entitlement. And so I love travel for that reason. I love because I think about that little girl playing in that box. When anytime, like I start to complain about mowing my lawn or doing anything like that, we're just so extremely blessed.
It's true.
Travel will show you that and teach you that. And then I just love the, I like growing up on a ranch. I have a lot of appreciation for that culture. My dad's a purist. He's an idealist when it comes to it. He thinks you should wear a cowboy hat and Wranglers and boots, and if you can't do it on a horse, you shouldn't do it at all.
Yeah.
And I get it because that's the culture of that community.
Yeah.
And I understand people coming into my hometown, and we'd make fun of them, right?
Yeah.
These city folk who would come in and want to get a taste of the Old West or whatever.
Your mom was a city girl, right?
Well, by Montana standards.
Okay.
She's from Billings, which is the biggest city. And at the time, big was like 80,000 people.
Yeah.
That was the biggest city. So I understand that, and I like how the culture is shaped by the environment and by the temperature and by the how you acquire food, right?
Yeah.
Like cattle is a big deal in where I grew up. Sushi, not so much, right?
Yeah, not gonna find the best sushi place in Montana.
Right. So anyway, I love that, and I love about Seattle. I love that we are a coastal city, and you want to get sushi here. Yeah. And then there's other food here that is amazing and awesome and great. And it's shaped by, like, salmon here. Salmon here is better than salmon anywhere else.
I agree. Yeah.
Period. I promise you, if you're listening to this and you've had salmon anywhere else in the United States, you haven't had salmon like we have it here.
No. I've thought about that whenever we're in, like, inland, like in Reno or... Yeah. And I think twice before I ever have any fish because it's usually disappointing just because it's so fresh here. Yeah.
So...
what's next on the list?
Love that.
Do you have
Bali.
a place in mind? Bali. Okay. Yeah.
Bali
yeah.
in
Bali.
April.
Yeah. That's
And
nice
I'm
that you already
excited.
have it planned.
I need it. I need to have something every 4 to 6 months out so that I can. I'm not working just to put money in my account. Yeah. I need to know what the payoff is. I need to know what the fruits of my labor are. And for me, traveling is the best reward. I spend my money on traveling. I don't buy my pickup. I bought my pickup. I have a nice pickup, but it's 4 or 5 years old, and I'm not looking to buy a new one anytime soon. Why? Because I want to travel, so I'm going to put my money towards that. Yeah. I don't buy toys. I don't own a boat or a camper. Yeah. I don't own.
I'd rather not.
ATVs or jet skis. Yeah. I put my money in travel, and yeah, and I have an idea to try to make travel a write-off. So we can.
Happening.
We'll just have the finally clicked travel channel.
Happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bali. What about you? What's your next trip?
International. I think Barcelona. I have someone to visit there and someone that will go with me. And so I think go to Paris and then take the train to Barcelona, Spain.
Look at you. Train. You just fancy yourself sitting there reading a book. I fancy
myself reading a book with a cup of beautiful coffee. Yeah. Writing in my journal.
Looking out at the European countryside.
That's Dear the ideal in my head.
This trip to Europe couldn't have come at a better time. My recent breakup with Charlie has left me.
God, there is no breakup because there is no Charlie. That's a great name, though.
Charlie.
I like Charlie.
Charlie. Yeah. Charlie was that name, you know? Like, when I think of that, like...
there's some good names.
That vignette of a woman on a European train, you know, doing
I also like Oliver. I really like the name Oliver.
This couldn't have come sooner. My breakup with Oliver has left me wondering who I am.
Oh my God.
And
it's so true. It's so funny and it's so damn true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Barcelona for next.
But you do have a trip coming up.
To Florida and Missouri. Yeah, this is August. Oh my gosh. August 2nd. Yeah. In September, I'm going to the Amplifi retreat, which is a retreat for women in business. And that's in Florida. And then going straight from Florida to Missouri to teach.
Yeah.
Joplin, Missouri. I've never been.
Yeah, that retreat, we decided that instead of going to Mega Camp, you would go and do this other thing instead. So
yeah, I think it's a good
a
idea.
few of my friends are putting it on. I'm excited for.
I got 2 of my operations friends to go with.
Oh yeah. Nice.
So we can room together. They're both probably pretty scared about it too, which is perfect because it's always good to go in a little bit scared.
I think that's something unique about you that I think people. I can totally believe that because I bet, even though they're scared, like they trust you, and so because they trust you, they like are willing to step out a little bit.
I hope so. I
Are
think
you scared?
I think it'll be a good experience. Not scared. I don't think much scares me anymore. Like you've actually said about me. I think, and I don't even know if I can say intimidated. I think it's probably just my introverted self. It's gonna take a minute for me to break out of my shell, as it does anywhere though.
Your introverted self. Your introverted self is a gimp in a in a cage at your house. I think you leave in the morning and you put your introverted self.
Actually, that's kind of a good
in a straitjacket and throw them under the bed until
I don't
and
allow
then you
that.
come out here and then you go home and then you let them out.
That sounds really accurate.
Yeah,
I don't allow that.
Your introverted self.
I don't allow that side of myself
funny.
to drive.
I'm more
any
introverted
part
than
of me.
you. After you
we've
leave your
kind of
house,
switched.
I am.
Bit.
I'm the shy, awkward networker.
Hardly awkward. No, I'm excited that it's for women in any industry. I'm hoping to meet some new people and make some new connections and get some new business. Honestly, is what always happens. I feel like if I put myself out there. Yeah. No, there's some exciting things happening.
There are some exciting things happening. We have an announcement to make next week.
We do.
saying.
Bam. I'm excited. Yeah.
I will say that I came back from this trip feeling very renewed, very re-energized, and ready to kick some ass.
Cool. New ideas are always energizing. New ideas, new people.
Do you see the fruit of that when I...
Oh, for sure.
Or is it just in my mind?
No, for sure. Yeah. Especially when you go outside the country.
Boy, jet lag kicked my ass, though.
It did hardcore. I'm not surprised, though. I mean, you had to come back and go right into hanging out with your kids, which is easy, and also, I mean, it's work when you're doing it by yourself.
Well, it's summertime, so they don't have school or anything to distract them. Jill had to work all 3 days, so I was just me and 3 kids and jet lag.
How long did it take you to get over it, you think?
I don't think I felt really like 100% until Tuesday this week.
Okay.
A week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how many hours were you off?
9 to 10.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So it was hard because I'd have to wait for you guys to wake up over here. Because at 3 p.m. it'd be 6 a.m. here.
Yeah.
So I'm awake most of the day and can't do anything. Can't really communicate because I'll wake you guys up.
Yeah. Which is good.
So I'd have to wait till 4 or something in the afternoon. And then by then we're going out. We're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then I shouldn't be texting anybody after, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
But
this is one of the first times I was close to changing the password on your email. But because of that one deal in particular that we had, I was like, I can't. Yeah. There's that was the only thing that I couldn't do for you.
So I think we should talk about this.
Okay.
Because I don't think people realize how seamless it is when I leave.
I probably not. No.
Okay, so I want to talk about this because I want people to understand.
Okay.
And not just take it for granted. I've taken a trip every year. I've been in real estate. And most of those trips were back to Montana. But even when I'm back in Montana, there's places I would go that didn't have cell service for days. So I had to use my team, and I had to leverage my team, and I had to shut things down when I was gone. And so it would take me days to get ready, days of email, days of preparation, getting everything taken care of as much as possible. And now I'm to the point where I really don't work. I don't check email. I mean, I can check email. I don't need to. I don't want to respond to email. I'm certainly not taking any phone calls. And so We had one deal that I was negotiating the payoff on a second, and I'm the only person that can do that.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And so I had to do that via email, but honestly, that was easy, and that's it. Everything else you guys took care of, and there was plenty of things that were outside of everyone's day-to-day purview.
Yeah,
that they stepped up and they helped. And my promise to them is we'll do the same when they leave. So
I think it's probably I don't know if there's a way to describe, or if it's ultimately, I'm hoping that I definitely assisted in your ability to trust that we would get it done when I came on, because I know that that I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that is what ultimately allows you to go. I think for owners that are listening, I don't know that I've met anyone else well, no, that's not true. Okay, so people that are on bigger real estate teams, I know a couple that can check out completely and their COOs have it. But for smaller teams that are growing, and for people that are newer in the last maybe 5 years, it's really hard for them to let go and not be paranoid that something's going to be missed.
Yeah.
Not check their email at least once to make sure something didn't happen.
Talking to somebody about leadership styles yesterday. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I was updating someone about our search for a team administrator. And we were talking about leadership styles of different people.
Yeah.
And I think, I realized something a while ago, that I'm just like any other entrepreneur or any other business person, that there's a small petty creature inside of me that I just don't give oxygen to, that wants to micromanage, wants to be like, hey, where is this person? Why have they been gone for half an hour?
Yeah.
I'm paying them. There's that small part. There's this evil accountability inside of every entrepreneur.
Sure.
That wants to yell at people and say, you're wasting my money. Like, do you not understand that this is important to me and you're wasting my money? And I just realized at some point that it didn't serve me. I just realized that giving someone grace for 10, 15, 30 minutes, the results from that are far better than micromanaging that person.
Yeah.
And if it becomes a trend, I'll address it.
Yeah.
And
that's where a PIP comes into play. Performance improvement plan. Yeah.
Just like saying these secondhand comments or these little people do that. They try to make a joke of it.
Yeah.
They try to deal with it in some other way other than being direct and upfront.
It makes
it
worse.
Always feels weird and gross.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I have to say, from an employee's perspective too, I've worked for someone who is a micromanager, and you can't ever get past a certain level of success. Because if there's no way you can know everything that's going on in the business. That's part of my job, is to let you know things that are going on that I see that you don't see, because you're not looking at it, because you shouldn't be. And so it absolutely is about trust. And ultimately, like you said, if someone is abusing the system or isn't getting their work done, then that's something that can be addressed. But I think until they show you that, until they show that they're not having success in their role, you have to kind of lean into that discomfort, and because otherwise your business will never grow. It just won't. There's only so big you can get when you're a micromanager. You can't. How do you keep track of everyone and what they're doing? I've tried.
If you have to micromanage, you probably have the wrong people.
Yeah.
And in addition to having the wrong mindset, you probably have the wrong people.
Yeah. That's when I've talked about being a helicopter mom. When I was a helicopter mom for 2 years, it was exhausting. Yeah. That was me micromanaging. It was stupid. It was horrible. And it taught me a really good lesson. I can't ultimately make anybody do anything. I want people who actually want to succeed with us.
Right.
Yeah. How do we get onto that topic? Oh, yeah, we have a hire.
We're announcing it next week.
Oh, God, I'm so excited. It's so nice.
ASMR transition in effect.
Transitioning right now.
Wow. 411. I liked your little mini moment.
Oh, did you like that?
411. I have to say, 411 is like a secret weapon.
Frick yeah.
That we utilize.
I was hoping that people got that message, because I felt like I was repeating myself, but I cannot tell you how many times I teach my class and I say, how many people meet weekly? And so no hands get raised, like maybe 2 or 3 out of a crowd of this weekend.
Yeah.
When I taught in Boise, I had 40 people in class and maybe 4 hands raised. And so there were several people after the class who said one of the things they were going to implement was a simple weekly 411.
Yeah. I meet with Jessica and Daniel, and they're like newborn puppies
They
afterward.
skip out of your room.
They like hop and trot and like a
well, and that's
newborn.
how I was too. Like people who want to be held accountable are people usually that want to succeed. And they just want someone to know that you care about their success. And once you care, then they'll go off and do the work.
Right. And especially when you break down a big goal into small pieces, and they're like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. No, because of that little mini moment that I did, I've actually been asked to speak to an ALC retreat about the 411 next week.
Oh, really?
Just for a half an hour. They just want to hear me because none of them probably do it for themselves or for their, she said limited people do it for their teams. And so
I will say this. I'll give Daniel a shout out.
Yeah.
So we have a team member. His name's Daniel.
yeah.
And I would say that the 411 or the cash talk,
Yeah, he's on the cash talk right
because
now.
it's first 90 days, so it's cash talk, which is a little bit different. But us doing that with him has resulted in him staying. I don't know that he would. I know he's had times where he's been weak-minded and wanted to quit.
Because this is his first experience as a commission
Real
agent,
estate agent.
in a real estate.
And
world.
I know he's going to be successful. I
Yeah.
know it. And
Yeah.
when I meet with him and I can show him and talk
Yeah.
to him about it, he has a totally different mindset. And all I mean, and so, like, if you care about your people and you want to keep them, do this. That's it. Just meet with them.
Yeah.
You know, you can get rid of so many, like,
hard, like stupid little conversations.
well, not just that, but
feelings.
as an owner, you're always like, am I paying people enough? Do I need to
Yes.
bonus people? You know what? If you meet with them once a week, you don't have to bonus them as much. You don't have to do these things because you're investing in them in a different way.
Yeah.
And that's what they care about.
Yeah. And I was so happy. I didn't even have a chance to tell you this last week. Somebody called me from the Seattle area, and they said it was their director of operations 2-year anniversary tomorrow. And they were like, I just wanted to call because I know I came to your class and I saw the bonus structure and how you get your raises. And should I give her a raise and a bonus and vacation time? And I said, this is like I don't even know what to say right now. It's like a breath of fresh air. And so we talked through it, and he decided to do the raise and then a couple extra PTO, to pay time off days because of what's going on in her life right now. And no bonus. Bonus is going to be based on performance. And it was the best, most refreshing conversation. And he's absolutely paying attention to the podcast and absolutely paying attention to how we've built our partnership, and that, yes, the time and the investment in just caring about the person, that will take you so far.
What's your job happiness score right now?
My job on a scale of 1 to 10,
What, 100?
1 to 100, 95. It's my gut reaction.
And would you say that that's the highest it's been in quite a while?
Yes.
See, I would say the same thing
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And it hasn't always been easy.
Sure.
I'm sure your happiness score has been low sometimes. But I feel like you and I have done such a great job in the past year of me listening to you and me hearing you
Responding.
and responding
Yeah.
in kind to where I feel like right now it's less work, it's less maintenance. We don't need to interface as often. Your happiness is better. My happiness is better. And it's just
It's easier. It's way easier for you than it is when I'm not happy.
Oh my gosh, you're not happy. Means I have to go on vacation. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And it's because we're figuring out, like, 'cause I always encourage people, and the first question I ask people whenever they call me is, have you talked to that person yet? I don't care if you're an admin or an agent. And 90% of the time they have not. And so that's how I tell them I approach things with you now is whether I'm happy, whether I'm confused, whether I lack clarity, whether I'm upset about something, if I talk to you about it, we've worked through solutions. And so now I know very well that I can bring anything to you and we will find a solution. We'll find an answer. We'll find a way to make something happen. So specifically because you've allowed, I put in quotations mark, you really have encouraged me to take opportunities as they've come to me. That's absolutely added highlights to my job, right? Like not everybody gets to travel and teach and take opportunities to go to LA with a company that recruits admin and trains admin. And that's a huge piece of it for me because I want to grow. And so it's like I'm never going to be a stagnant. I can't. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so much so that I came back from my trip and you have like 3 other trips planned.
Do I? I'm trying to think right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I didn't know about these things. I might need some awareness.
Oh, like
some
speaking at
knowledge.
like the Hergenrother retreat we talked about briefly.
No, I didn't know anything about that until it was already booked.
We talked about it.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Oh my God, you're hilarious. Yeah, a lot of opportunities pop up. Totally. Yeah, no, it's, I think.
There's, the other thing that I found about a lot on the trip for some reason, and I think it's just because I don't think about it, but you've said it, and I know it's true, and I understand it, but where a lot of people in admin world feel like they're gonna lose their job.
Yeah.
Like there's this fear of
Fear of
being
losing your
fired,
job.
fear
Yes.
of losing your job.
Totally.
Often, right? And this new recruit that we've been talking to, it's in the back of her head. I can hear it loud and clear.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
No, it's very prominent. Like, hey, I just want to, like, is this going to be real? Like, is this going to...
Yeah.
And I'm like, you and I are both like, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Don't worry about it. Like, stop worrying about it. But she hasn't been in a place where she's felt safe before.
Yeah, you just recognize that. That's a big deal.
And so now I'm imagining how
What
much
performance
better
will look like.
her performance will be when
Yes.
she's not thinking about
It'll be
or
a game
looking
changer.
for the next opportunity, or you know what I mean?
It'll be a game changer.
We have so many talented
Yep.
recruits
Coming at us right now.
and we don't have room for all of them. I think we're going to have to help people find their next admin. Interesting. Weird.
Oh, curious. Yeah. My Post-it notes aren't going to hold all the people I have.
Nope.
Thank you for letting me use Post-it notes, by the way.
I don't care what you use. You can use horsehide if it works. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I have access to horsehide, but
you know,
if
it'd
I
be
did,
harder to acquire.
yeah,
And
than a Post-it note.
some people might take umbrage with you doing that. But
Good word.
umbrage. That's my word of
Just
the day.
throwing them out today.
The other one was impetuous.
Yeah, I love that
should-
you use that with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just talk and then the team goes, hold on, I have to look this word up.
Let me Google this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siri, define impetuous. This mimosa is effective. It's effective.
Really? Is that your first?
This is my second one.
Really? Okay.
Man.
Yeah, that was a gift, a bottle of champagne from, I actually don't remember who.
It was from an agent on the other side of a deal with me.
Oh, that's right. A really
Who,
nice, kind agent. Yeah.
Her
'Cause that's not typical.
buyers chose the wrong lender, and I told her that at the beginning.
This was like 3 months ago or
And
something.
they told me it wouldn't be a problem, and it was a problem. But we gave them grace, and she gave us champagne.
That was very nice.
Yeah. ASMR transition into
What's next?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, my turn. Oh, let's see.
I enjoyed your podcast with Aida Alvarado.
Oh, okay.
She went through a lot, endured a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine.
I really liked her honesty, where she said she'd go back and tell herself not to fight. Like the honesty was.
I think that's probably one of the things I valued the most about what she shared, because I've honestly thought about what would my mom want to hear, and because it was really hard when she was first diagnosed, and we've been in the wait and watch period, and I went to my first doctor's appointment that I've been to in like 2 years yesterday, and we talked about it then, and he said something to me that really resonated, and I hadn't thought about this before, but he was like, "You're really motivated." Okay, yes, I know that.
Your doctor figured this out.
Yeah, so he said, "You're really."
Is there a blood test? Well, Margaret, your blood test results are back. Your motivation is off the charts.
Oh my God.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing if you could check that by
we
blood.
just want to run this blood test.
Because that for every person we recruit
God,
right now. Yeah. No, he was talking about, because we were talking about my history, and I'm very honest. I guess some people aren't.
Oh,
And
like me, you mean?
no. Some people are not very, I guess,
No, when it comes to my
upfront.
medical care,
Yeah.
I'm not motivated.
Okay,
I don't want to
yeah.
go to the doctor.
So he said, okay, anytime you guys have an issue, like when your mom had discovered she had this diagnosis, you went immediately to the doctor. And I was like, oh yeah, we head on. We want to like address things and see what we can do early, preventative care. So with Aida, I was thinking as she was talking, I actually made my mom some business cards in the first like 6 months of her diagnosis because you got so many random questions, and it got to the point where we were going to support groups and it was too early for all of this input, all of this help, all of these people that felt a lot of pity, I think. And so it's not a good feeling when you're the person that's sick to get that. And like, that's what Aida talked about was, people didn't know what to say, but it was worse when they said nothing or when they didn't text her or they fell off the face of the earth.
Or they said, you look better than I expected.
Yes.
I love advice like that because I'm the king of not knowing what to say.
And who knows what to say when
like
someone has
I'm
cancer.
terrible with death.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't trained with it.
Sure.
I'm fine with, I shouldn't say this. Well, I'm used to animals dying, like, because I grew up on a ranch. So I saw
a lot of that death.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
But no one I really loved passed away.
Yeah.
And I mean, certainly now I've been through enough funerals.
No, I definitely think that takes some experience.
But I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know the right thing to say.
Yeah.
And I remember when my grandfather, my closest person who's ever passed, is my grandfather.
Yeah.
And I didn't need anyone to say anything other than I wanted to remember him, and I liked it when people asked me about him.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is just that what people have told me is that I'm never afraid to ask the question. So if people, like, for example, if we go deep, I mean, like, not we don't go deep, but depression, suicide, any of those topics, I will have no problem asking someone if they hint at something. I will absolutely ask about it because typically they want to talk about it, and then they'll say to me afterwards, "Thank you for asking me." And I think as someone who's dealt with that, I think that's what Aida was getting at was just pure curiosity and care and candor is what she really wanted. But then when she talked about being in the midst of it and really not caring about her own life, like she said, she'd come to peace with the idea of death. And the only reason she really fought was for her parents. Because when you do chemo and radiation, that's what I've heard too, is that, I mean, literally it takes a lot out of your brain. She felt like she had sucked all of the
cancer brain.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting.
I think we should be able to talk about everything. Like I instance,
have to, or else I feel ill.
I think about death, and I think about like when people get a diagnosis that's terminal. Like I think they should be able to think about suicide. I think they should be able to choose their quality of life and how they exit this world. And I feel like we make it too hard sometimes.
Yeah.
For people to, I don't know why we limit people's options, I guess. Like, everyone's road is different. Everyone, and I'm not saying this isn't depression or anything else. This is your body is deteriorating at a level that is going to make it really hard for not just
everyday
you, but other people.
Yeah.
Quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a good episode. She shared a lot.
And then what was your other mini moment?
Self-care and then 411. Self-care, yeah. That one actually happened because an admin texted me on Instagram and her dad just passed away 2 weeks ago. And she said, I'm back in the office and I feel like, this is the same team leader, by the way. I don't think I'll reveal them by saying this. Same team leader that asked me how to pay her more. And so she texted me this 2 days before he texted me wanting to talk. And she said, I'm back at the office and I feel so bad. I'm not myself. My team leader's not going to deal with this for much longer. And I said, oh, hon, are you really sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure you have a fantastic leader. And it's probably just a conversation you need to have.
Do you say that? Oh, hon.
I did.
Oh, hon.
I did.
Do you put on like a southern?
I try not to be. Because it comes out. I call people dear and hun.
Just don't say bless your heart.
Oh, no. I stay away from that ever since we heard
something different.
Ever since we heard that, no. At that conference. Yeah. No, but so that's what prompted that is there's such a lack of self-care. And not just from the admin side, from the agent side too. As a leader, it's so exhausting to do what you do, and you have to take some time for yourself.
No, you need to have some routines.
And honestly, too, it's like almost, not with this person in particular, but for a lot of people, it's like they kind of enjoy being a martyr, and it's their story. And I'm like, bullshit.
No.
You can take a break for yourself. You don't carry on and do the same thing over and over again and tell me you have no time. I don't care if you have kids.
Yeah.
My mom had 4 kids, and she still found time for herself. So, yeah. Boom.
Man,
That's what lit the fire on me.
My mom had 4 kids, and she still got pedicures.
Now, she wasn't the best at it. No, my mom's actually never had a pedicure.
What was self-care then look like for your mom?
Knitting, sewing, anything having to do with crafts in her hands. That was her break because she could not. She never made time.
Oh,
she
your
didn't love
mom
to
would
read.
be so pleased with what I got Jill for her birthday.
She would be very pleased. Yeah.
Got Jill a sewing machine because when she graduated high school, she wanted to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Or buyer. And so she's
cool
always
job.
loved fashion and always has wanted to make her own clothes. And it's just something I knew she wouldn't spend money on herself for.
No, it's an excellent gift. Super
So
thoughtful.
she cried.
I'm not surprised.
And
You're a very thoughtful gift giver.
Anyway, your mom would be proud of me too.
She would.
So Mary, you can tell me
Take
how proud
note.
of you are.
Yeah. What's your top self-care regimen besides travel? Like, what's something you do maybe on the daily or the weekly?
I get a haircut every 3 weeks.
That's a big deal.
And I do it, and I don't think about it.
Yeah.
I don't feel guilty about it.
Did you used to?
Yeah. Are
Really?
you kidding?
Why?
I grew up with
Oh,
a
not
tremendous
paying
amount
for-
of
sure.
guilt for about money.
Yeah. So spending money on yourself, period.
Yeah.
And to do something like that as often as you do. But still, hair grows so fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Massages. You're better at it than I am.
Oh, only in the last year. It's been amazing the
I
impact that
need
has
to
on me.
get better about that.
It really helps.
Yeah, I don't do pedicures, manicures really. I need to do a pedicure probably once every 3 months or something.
Yeah. It's so nice to have somebody else do it. That my dad does it now.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Every other month, I got him a gift certificate, and he tried it because he's now 66, so his toenails are a lot harder to reach.
Oh, jeez.
And they're just
gross me out.
But it's amazing because now they look awesome, and he doesn't have to worry about it.
See, it's
and
not
they do it.
toenails for me. My toenails are fine. Thankfully, I have healthy toenails like a
your fingernails?
22-year-old. No, it's the heel gets so calloused and dry. Like
They can't even touch my heel because I'm so damn ticklish.
well, right? But then
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a horse getting shoes put on.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're just grinding away at this.
Wow.
Like,
You walk a lot in your bare feet?
I wear wear flip flops quite a bit.
Huh.
But no, not really. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Other than that, self-care. I like
Concerts?
to eat good food
Good
and
food.
drink good wine and listen to good music. That's my care regimen. Yeah.
Nice.
What else is cracking, Margaret?
What else is cracking?
How's your day life going?
My day life? Or
Dates,
my date
dating life. This is on your 411, so.
Yes. So I was just telling the girls. So in the Pacific Northwest Operations Retreat from this last year, 2019, I started asking them to give me updates and give everybody an update. So I do a live video in there and update them about myself, which then prompts them to do live videos. So I said, you guys can officially now call me a casual dater.
Whoa.
Yeah, which I have never been. And to me, that means what that translates to, honestly, is not very much, but it means I'm like actively going on dates, at least I would say every other week, talking to different people, different guys, literally having more of an open mind than I think I've actually ever had about the idea of dating, and not stressing about it, just letting it be.
What's one lesson you've learned from dating?
This time?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying yes to fewer people. And as far as even starting conversations with them, whether it be on the app that I'm using or if they ask to talk to me, I'm saying no more.
This is what you've learned?
Yes. Because I'm so nice that I would just say yes to everyone. And hell no.
I made a decision to put myself out there so I can say no to more people.
But I'm getting more quality people to actually talk to. So it's good. I like it. And I have a lot to offer. And I think before I haven't really thought of myself like that. And so, yeah, it brings about different
You
conversations.
bring a resume? How's that work?
No, but the first time I talked to them in person, which is now I've talked to them maybe I think it's 4 guys.
Okay, let's role play for a second.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh, hi, Margaret. Is it Margaret? Is that what I should call you?
Are we calling on the phone right now?
No. We're across
We're in
the table.
person?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
We're at a nice restaurant like Denny's or something. That's an inside joke.
Hello.
Hey, so what do you do? Tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Would you like my elevator speech?
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know what that is because I'm not in real estate. I'm an engineer.
Okay.
And I don't know what an elevator
engineer.
speech
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, I'm pretty new to real estate myself. So basically, I help run a team of real estate agents out of the
how long
Bothell,
have you been
Washington
doing
area.
that?
Almost 7 years.
Oh, but it's new to you?
Yeah, I have this problem where not maybe a problem, but a
It
thing.
sounds like that's a fifth of your life.
Yeah, pretty much actually. Yeah. Yeah, no, I help run a real estate team and I get to do a lot of amazing, fun things that I haven't gotten to do in any other job.
Oh,
so
like crafting? Like
I craft on
show
the
and
side.
tell?
I travel. I teach.
You teach. What do you teach?
I teach about the partnership between the executive and the admin. Yeah, I love my job. I love what I do, and I want to inspire people to do more.
So do you help people buy houses?
Not directly myself, but I have a team of people that do.
Nice. I see.
And then I usually say, I used to hate car salesmen and real estate agents, and then I discovered you just have to find the right people that you want to work with, and I found those people.
Thanks for lumping us together.
You're welcome. And then the conversation goes from there. And oftentimes, I think they're a little taken aback at the different things that I'm doing, maybe intimidated. I don't know. But if they're worth anything, they'll keep asking questions and intimidation goes away.
Funny story. So we, where were we? We were on a boat. Me and Jill were on a boat somewhere. And
I'm on a boat.
I just had a haircut in the past week, and she had just had a haircut in the past week. And Jill has an interesting haircut. She has
It's cute.
her hair is shaved on one side of her head, and she has designs cut into that hair. And it's eye-catching, I would say.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, so this person's, they thought I did hair. They thought
Really?
we were so well coiffed that she thought that one of us did hair, you know? So
Oh my
she's
gosh.
like, her first guess was me.
That's
and
hilarious.
I thought that was hilarious.
That's really funny.
And then her second guess was Jill. And I'm like, I'm in real estate. She's a nurse. So no.
No, not at all.
Though I do cut her lines sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Too funny. We've covered the gamut here.
I will tell you a quick story about Amsterdam.
Okay.
So I went into this coffee shop, and the coffee shop there has quotes around it because the coffee shops are where they sell weed and either flower, bud, or pre-rolled joints or whatever. So there's this kind of notorious, famous one called the Gray Area, and
I like that name.
it's decorated in stickers from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall. It's just stickers. And it's kind of like a barbershop feeling when you walk in. And there's like this elevated platform where there's three black men, and one of them, and they're all wearing like tank tops, and there's rap music playing. And the one central guy is rolling joints with his hands. And the two on either side of him are like the color men, where they're making jokes and they're laughing and they're high-fiving, and then it's like this whole environment. It's like a barbershop.
Yeah.
And Jill has been going to the barbershop to get her lines done.
Yeah.
And she started taking her son there, and it's this whole environment, right?
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. And but it was so funny to walk into Amsterdam and see that in that environment.
That's cool.
Instead of it being like a barbershop where guys get together and razz each other, it was this weed shop and with music and it was so perfect. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. You didn't take a picture of the sticker wall?
I did. I sent it to Jillian.
Cool.
Yeah. Maybe I'll send it to you so you can include it in a post or something.
There you go.
As a reference point.
Yeah.
I think people will be weirded out that I mentioned weed.
I hardly think so.
It's legal there, everybody. I didn't break any laws.
And we're in Washington State.
Didn't break any laws here either.
Yeah, you're totally good. The number of people that want to come and hang out with us during this ASMR and mimosa or whiskey episode is huge.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably actually the more that I've experienced it, the number one request.
I want to do one where we
need to do it publicly.
No, we need to smoke or have an edible and
God.
then do a show. Like
Margaret would be in a corner, rolled up in a ball, just like passed out.
I know. I can find a strain that'll keep you up. And then we need to do an episode. Can we please do that? I think it'd be so great.
Sure.
ASMR and doobies. ASMR and
Oh my
cannabis.
God. That would be pretty fucking funny.
It would be funny. I think we totally need to do it. We can always record it and then
Just not publish
decide
it.
when we're not high whether or not we should publish
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Too funny.
I'm throwing a big party today.
You are? Are you ready for it?
I mean, it's a
You
lot.
don't need to. You over prepare. You're such a good host.
I like being, and well, that's kind of this is why it's kind of a big deal, is because before my divorce, I hosted a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I loved having people over. I love making steaks. I love
Reminds me.
serving good wine. I love doing that. And I did it often. And I got so much energy from it.
Yeah.
And then when I got separated and divorced, I didn't have the same house or environment or entertaining space. And it took me a while to host parties again. And then we've been in this house for a little over 2 years. And we've never thrown a big party. Not even like a housewarming party.
Yeah.
So Jill, for her birthday, asked for a party. So we're going to have like 30 people over. And it's a white party, so you can only wear white.
I love that.
White pants, white shirt, white shorts, whatever. Yeah. And I had the windows cleaned in the house. I had a fence installed in the back because it was falling down.
Yeah, you prepare like nothing else.
Well, it makes me do stuff I don't want to do.
Normally.
Right?
Yeah.
And, so it's going to be catered. I've got 3 cases of wine, and like it's set up. I bought a tiki bar to go outside. We hung Edison lights.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I only came into work to record this podcast, and then I have to go plan for the party.
It's gonna be awesome.
And woke up today. It did say it was gonna rain this morning.
I didn't think it was supposed to. It feels muggy as all get out.
No, it's supposed to rain this morning, but then it's gonna become partly. It'll be like 75.
Okay, that'll be nice.
This afternoon.
Yeah, not too hot, but not raining.
Yeah, which that's another thing about traveling. By the way, in Europe, they don't believe in air conditioning because they're way tougher than us. And
they just sweat through everything.
We melt at like over 85 degrees.
It's true.
We start to melt.
Yeah.
I certainly sweat through every piece of clothing I own. And then ice is a luxury over there. They don't have a lot of freezers or ice trays. I don't know what the story is. But they if you ask for like a Coke on ice, you might get 1 or 2 cubes of ice. And they'll be gone in 30 seconds, you know?
I'm used
and
to
you're
having
like,
full
can I have
glass.
some more ice? And they're like, stupid American. No.
I do love a good ice cube.
I love
several.
ice. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So finally in Amsterdam at our hotel, they had that nugget ice.
Yeah.
And I was like,
ice.
oh, man. I'm like, and extra cups of ice. And they're like,
That's really funny.
Toasted with them with my ice glass. America.
The nugget ice is the best.
That is the best.
Yeah.
I've thought about buying the nugget ice maker.
You should.
For my house.
Yeah, I need to get mine fixed. It's not working right now. It's really a bummer.
Just a birthday idea. Should anyone need one?
Oh, good idea.
Nugget ice maker.
Nugget ice maker. I'll write that one down.
Yeah. ASMR transition. Pouring more champagne.
I love the fizzle.
For shizzle. My nizzle.
It's so beautiful. Oh, thank you. I'm going to be all ready for that admin mastermind.
Oh, you have an admin mastermind today?
We do.
What are we just talking about at today's admin mastermind?
Well, it's funny that you ask, actually, because I just kind of did it. We're talking about our elevator speeches because not many admin have one. Actually, probably hardly any. And they're not the first to practice it. So I get to practice it in every interview that I do about the team. So I can concisely tell someone in an elevator, literally, if I have a minute, this is what I do and why. But a lot of them don't. So Mariah Berg is the one organizing it, and she's going to have everybody get up. They have 30 seconds, tell their story, and practice it. So it's a cool idea. Yeah. And then we go through the book that we're reading.
What book is that?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And the title is Inspiring and something else. I can't remember the last name. It's really good, actually. But I can't remember the title. I'll have to put it in the notes.
Inspirational.
Now I'm going to have to look.
You watched The Bachelorette, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I haven't watched the last one. I watched the first one on Tuesday from Monday night. So, not the final yet.
Oh, you haven't watched the final?
No, because I had plans on Tuesday.
Well, we can't talk about it then.
Oh, I mean, I kind of know what's going to happen, but I don't really.
Never mind.
Yeah, I go to my brother's house and watch it. And it's really entertaining.
So romantic.
So romantic. Right? All right, I'll find the name of this book later.
When's our next book going to be for the team?
I don't know. We haven't thought about that yet. I thought I'd leave it till you got back, because usually you have something in mind. We just got done with Gary John Bishop's second book.
Stop doing that shit.
Stop doing that shit. Stop it.
It reminds me so much of, there's this great bit with Bob Newhart.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on YouTube and you put Bob Newhart, stop it, you'll find it. But I think it's like a Saturday Night Live bit or something where he's a therapist and all he says is stop it. Like she's like, well, I just feel so out of control and I just don't know. And I think it's related to my mom. And he's like, stop it. And she's like, what? He's like, stop it. Just stop it. That's his only advice as a therapist.
Okay.
It's kind of great.
I love it. Simple, to the point.
Yeah. And it's true, right? It's
Yeah.
like, no, I totally understand the benefits of therapy. I've been through, I've said this before, but I've spent more on therapy than I spent on college.
Yeah.
And I paid my way through college too. So
the benefit.
I spent a
of
lot of money
perspective.
bettering myself. I've spent so much money.
Well, you have to create some new definitions for yourself, right?
Yeah. Whoa, Enme Mangle's coming through. That's right. I had a session with Enme this week.
Oh, do tell our listeners the basics if you want to.
Well, I will. I'll reference what you just said. So before she has a consultation, she meditates over your name or about you, and so she had basically said she got a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, you know, when she meditated on me, which is fair.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I had some traumatic things happen in my childhood, and I have back pain that traumatizes me now. And I've certainly done I feel like I've done everything I can to like get over both. And so we talked about that, and she this is fun to talk about. She brought up commitment. She asked me what commitment meant to me. And I said, well, and the best example I had was when I was married. I never thought I could get divorced. Like, commitment meant I would have to be miserable the rest of my life. And she's like, wow, that's a powerful definition of commitment, is that you're going to be miserable the rest of your life. I'm like, oh, interesting. And I'm like, I'm smart enough to know that. I'm smart enough to realize that when I have a definition of something, that it changes everything about that word for me.
Yeah.
And so I realized I set small traps for myself like this. And I'm better than this. I know it. Like, I'm aware, and I'm, you know, emotionally in touch with myself. And I should be able to see that when I recoil, or like I say, if I set a trap for myself. What I mean by that is that I allow myself to believe that definition without correcting it, without saying, hey, Jesse, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
That just because this happened to you one time or whatever doesn't mean it's going to happen the rest of your life. But I do stuff like that all the time. And that was a new awareness for me.
Yeah, that's a big deal. It's hard to recognize everything we do throughout the day. Like,
my definition of family that I grew up with was people that hurt you.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a whopper. Yeah. And so, yeah. Talking more and more recently with people about choosing their family. So maybe not the family you're born with, but the family you choose.
Your tribe.
Yeah. Because family is not about hurting. Shouldn't be. What did it make you want to do?
The whole session or just that part? What do you mean?
That part.
Just made me aware of I don't want to operate that way.
Yeah.
I have plenty of crazy people in my life that hang on to definitions that don't serve them, and I wish they would let go of them. So it just forces me to let go of some of those things. Like Jill and I, we've been dating for 3 years. We've been engaged for 2. Everyone, our number one question that's asked us is, when are we going to get married? I wear a ring now just to keep people from asking the question. You know, like, that's not, it's up to us. So back off, you know? And I'm not sensitive about it. It's just so much. It's all the time.
Sure, yeah.
But it does force the issue. It does say, oh, why aren't you married? And, you know, a part of it is, I know it's because I was married before and that didn't go awesome. And there's a little bit of a sociological fight in my head about marriage and whether or not it's necessary and what, you know. I feel like, I honestly feel like marriage can be a trap. I think I've seen it happen, and I'm careful not to fall into it. But I definitely want to be committed to Jill, and I want her to be committed to me. I think a healthy thing, and I say this a lot. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I say this a lot, and part of it's so true. It's totally true. And I think everyone should live this way. And maybe I put too much weight on it. And that is, so when people ask me, I just tell them, you know what? I have to win her affection every day. When I wake up in the morning, I have to be the best me so that she wants to be with me and stay with me and be the person that helps raise her child and be the one she wakes up with and falls asleep with. And in order for that to work on an ongoing basis, I have to be the best me I can be every day. I have to be good enough that she chooses me. I think that's a good, healthy way to live. And I'm going to have bad days.
Sure.
I'm going to, there's going to be days she's not going to want to choose me, right? Like, and I want the grace, and I want I feel like our society, this is the struggle our society's in a little bit, where all the focus is on finding the person.
Sure.
And then people...
Once found, done. Work's done.
Or not even once found.
Yeah.
They rush to a decision so that they can be over with the process.
Yep.
Right? You see that all the time. You aren't doing that because me and other people are yelling at you, please don't do that, right? Not that I can take credit for that. You do a great job. But so many people settle because they want the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the dog.
Or they want people to stop asking questions.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening is then they have to go through a divorce, and then they end up having to reinvent themselves and figure out and then
go
find
through
the right
a whole
person.
other part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. That's why staying true to yourself and really telling the truth about how you feel about someone or how you feel about where you're at in life, I think, is so critical. And people just get afraid of it because in the moment you don't want to disappoint someone, or, you know, but you have to live to who you are.
For real. Well, it's nice to be back.
It's good to be back. It's good to have you back. It's nice to have someone on the other side of the table.
Right. I feel that way perhaps more than you do. I didn't know I was hosting this show with Mopra.
Oh, my God. I hardly can compare myself to Oprah.
Today I want to talk about love and acceptance of yourself. I'm just going to riff stream of conscious style for 25 minutes. It'll sound as if I've written down all of my thoughts.
So I did write down some points because that is how I can do that. That's the only way I can do that. I can't just, because I've listened to a couple podcasts where it's just someone talking into neither, and it's like so unproductive. I hate it. So I had to make sure if I was going to do this, I was going to do it well.
Huh. And then I just decided to do it 4 more times. Once I did it once so well, I'm like, 4 more times can't hurt.
I knew you were going to laugh about that when you got
You love
back.
how I give you an English accent?
Yeah, I do. God, yeah. I want to date someone with an English accent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't need to have it, but it'd be nice if he did.
Do you change your Siri or your setting to talk to you?
Oh, it's beautiful.
English or Australian?
English.
Male or
It's
female?
my preference. Male, for sure. It's super sexy.
He's like, right. Take a right now.
Or I could do Gary John Bishop's voice. That's a good voice.
Oh, that Scottish brogue.
Yeah, yeah.
It's up to you, ain't it?
Take that right.
You want to take that right? It's up to you. Take a right, take a left. I don't care. Just stop doing that.
Oh my God. That's actually beautiful. He can make a lot of money doing that, being a Siri voice.
I feel like my impressions are so much better than they actually are.
They are good. It's funny.
I know. I need to just re-listen to John Gary Bishop and practice my Scottish brogue.
Yeah. Do it.
It's up to you, isn't it? It's like that phrase runs through my head all the time because he literally said it to me. I remember asking him about boundaries, and he's like, "It's up to you, isn't it?"
I just stick out in my head.
I'm like,
oh my God, it makes me laugh so hard. I have that stuck in my head, and then also that video that Augustina took of him pumping his arms like this and saying, releasing your past or something.
releasing your past.
Oh God, it's so fun. Yeah.
I was like, it's up to you, isn't it? I'm like, I'm asking you though, but it's up to you, isn't it? Well, yeah, but that doesn't, I don't have the answers, but it's up to you.
He just went back to that every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's his coaching style. Stop it. It's up to you. Stop it.
Oh my God. I got a stomach workout. Oh.
We need to have people with accents on just to like,
Yes, please.
in the background.
Uh-huh.
Be like, now for our Scottish brogue moment.
Yes. That could be our drops.
Oh, goodness gracious. We have to crush this bottle. Is that what's happening?
I mean, whatever's left is in our glass. Yeah. That was delicious.
I have to stay loose and limber. I have to play beer pong later.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be with Cody again?
Yep, the machine.
Who's up first?
This is not well known, but I'm excellent at beer pong.
It's not well known.
Cody and I are.
Yeah, unfortunately, you and Cody are really
We are
in tune.
We kind of slay. Mm-hmm. We can like do it behind our back and stuff.
Oh my gosh. I hope someone takes you on tonight that really, truly
You know how when I say it, it's like a kid bragging. Like, my dad's tall and strong, and he can do it behind his back. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. I like hosting. That's something I've learned about myself for sure. Like, in a social setting, I'm the person that wants to make sure everybody has a drink.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's had a chance to eat.
Why is that?
Man. Good question.
Is your mom and dad like that?
No, not at all. No. So not so.
Maybe not in a party setting, but in other settings?
No way. Not even close.
Okay.
No. My mom, I love my mom to death. She can't, she regularly ruins dinner for me often. It was burned or inedible.
Yeah.
Like, the last couple years of high school, I cooked for myself because it was just, and I love my mom. I'm not making fun of her. We didn't host parties. If you did, it was a crock pot type at potluck, you know.
Maybe that's what prompted you to want to be.
You know what? I remember being in college and I want to barbecue well. I want to be able to make a burger. And here's why. Because if you try to make a burger on a barbecue the first time, you have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
You don't know how long. You don't know what it's supposed to look like. I almost started our house on fire. Like trying to cook barbecue. And then you get better at it. You get better. You get incrementally better.
Yeah.
Like last night, I felt so great. I cooked Jill dinner for birthday steak. And everything went wrong. My Traeger stopped working. It got too hot. It was like 500 degrees.
That keeps happening, I feel
and then
like.
No, and then it went down to 300. It was sub 300. And I'm like cooking, I'm cooking steaks on the fire, and it's doing this crazy stuff.
Geez.
And still, when I pull them off, they're perfect.
Gosh.
Like I know steak well enough now
To know it, yeah.
to know
Yeah.
I can
When it's
deal
done.
with it. And so I love that, and I love, when food can change everything.
Yeah.
Someone has a good bite versus a bad bite.
Yeah.
Totally changes the whole
Totally.
environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. I love having good wine, and like the wine, I literally am serving the best rosé I've ever had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You've had it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me it's not the best rosé
Is it the
you've
California
ever had.
one?
No,
Or the-
Pratch.
Oh,
The
yeah. No, that is
Austrian.
that's absolutely my favorite.
There's no better rosé, and here's
it's
why.
delicious.
Because rosés are either flat and boring
Yeah.
and taste like strawberries,
Yeah.
or they're too bubbly,
Yeah.
like a rosé bubbly.
Yeah.
Well, I found this one that's effervescent
It's perfect.
and strawberries,
Mm-hmm.
so it's dry but sweet. It's perfect. We're serving that. Why?
It's gonna be
Because I
delicious.
want everyone to go, what is this?
Yeah.
How'd you find that? I'm serving a white wine called Vino Verde, which very few people have heard of. It's delightful. Like I like introducing people to stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
we had this wine, I've never even heard of it before. That stuff, that gets me off. I don't know why. And so
have you
I
thought about being a sommelier? Is that how you say it?
sommelier.
Sommelier.
I mean, it's a lot of investment in time. I don't think I have. No, but I think where it comes from is feeling left out as a kid. I think it comes from. I think I always gravitated towards the adults. There are those kids. My daughter's one of them.
That was me too.
Where at like 12, you're awkwardly hanging out, trying to hang with the parents.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Please, can you leave?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like this is better.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with the little kids. Just
Yeah.
let me hang here."
Yeah.
And then you try to interject anecdotes, and they're terrible. All right, but I feel like there was a sense of not belonging as a kid, and that I could change that. Like I can make everyone feel welcome. I can make everyone feel like they're included and a part of this.
That's I think why I think that and when people struggle as teenagers, I actually welcome it because I think it's the time to learn that. And when people don't get that, if they were like the most handsome kid in school or the most beautiful girl in school, different things happen to them for different reasons. But same thing for me. Like absolutely, I can totally relate to that, and that's why everything I do right now is so inclusive. I invite everyone. There's nobody that is turned away, and I think that's a big deal. And it actually helps to create environments where people feel free to be themselves.
Oh, you mean like inviting kids to my house?
I did not invite kids to your house.
I'm throwing a second party.
It's a party kind of
I'm
weekend.
throwing a party Saturday for Sarah Trotsky, a going away party. And it was a change of venue last minute because it was going to be at your place, but my place
You
is
kindly offered your place.
better
Yeah.
for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then it says kids are welcome. And I'm like, no, they're not. I don't have kids there. We don't have kids.
See, I didn't know that. And I knew the only other people that could bring kids would be like two other people.
Well, and I'm not.
As it
against
turns out,
them.
there's no kids coming.
Right.
Yeah.
I know one person, if she wants to bring a kid, great.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be other kids there.
Yeah.
And there's some kids that just wouldn't be allowed no matter what.
Uh-huh.
Are you kidding? I
No
had
matter
the
what.
windows cleaned at my house. I paid a professional to clean the windows. You want to know what kids like to do?
Hands all over the windows.
They like to grab a banana, smush it in their hands, and then slam their hands against the window.
This is your worst nightmare.
And they're marking their territory.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing hieroglyphics on my window.
How do you feel about having two parties in one weekend? Does it stress you out at all?
No.
Good.
No, because I don't have kids, and I don't have any other plans, so I can deal with it. And then it means that my house will be cleaned professionally on Monday. So I just...
You don't have to worry about much. Yeah. Well, good.
Well, it's nice to be back.
It's nice to have you back.
Nice to be back on the podcast. I got to hang on a little bit longer before Oprah's Soul Sunday.
Shut up.
Takes,
Oh my God.
takes
Whatever. Gotta hang on. You're not going anywhere.
I'm going to be like Gayle King. I got to be better. I got to be like Gayle King. I got to I got to just jazz it up a little bit.
Up.
Girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
You want to call me
You
Gail?
are hilarious. No, I'm not calling you Gail.
And yeah. Meanwhile, like doesn't she like host Good Morning America or something
I think so.
today? Something.
Yeah, and she's also in charge of Oprah's magazine.
In charge she is.
Yeah, pretty
Man.
sure. Yeah,
Gail King.
Gail King. It's the real deal.
Hashtag Gail King. All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you for listening.
Happy ASMR and Mimosa Day.
Cheers.